welcome back to the channel. What we're going to look at today are some Marshall type effects pedals, and we're going to compare them. We've got some old school classic ones and we've got some new ones as well, and some kind of cheap ones, some more expensive ones, and I'm going to be comparing them to an actual Marshall JMP from the 70s. I'm going to be using my trusty Les Paul, which will give us some kind of, classic Marshall tones. We'll look at how robust they are and whether they're actually worth the money as well, because some of these are worth a fortune. Please take some time to subscribe if you can. It's absolutely free. A lot of people ask me if you have to pay to subscribe. You just have to click a button. If you subscribe to my channel, it ultimately means that you'll get updates, and it'll come up when you sign into YouTube. You'll be able to see when I've put new videos up. It'll support the channel, and it will allow me some options as well in the future when it comes to developing the YouTube channel, which is in my strategy for it. So our first, just a quick overview. We've got a Marshall, We've got a Marshall Drive Master, and the Drive Master's like a tone shapey overdrive pedal that Marshall have had based on the Governor pedal, which was one of their really early classic distortion pedals from back in the day. This one's a very old original one. We've also got the original Marshall Bluesbreaker pedal. Again, they retail at quite a lot. There's reissues around as well that are about £150, and then you can pick up the original ones for anywhere between 350 to thousands. I've seen them, which is a bit much really for what it is in my opinion, but there you go. It does sound pretty sweet. I'm also going to use a Joyo, which is the British sound. Mine has a moustache. It's a very cool pedal, and that's somewhere in between. It's kind of like an emulator of the old JTMs, the old plexi kind of sound, and you can also put a bit more hair and go for that JTM 800. And then the newest pedal is the TC Electronic Jims 45. Again, the Jims 45 is a really flexible system, more than just a distortion pedal, so you can use it as a Marshall sort of Marshallizer within your amp rig, but it also has the ability to use IRs and which is like an impulse response or an emulator of the 4x12 Celestian greenback cabs, which sound amazing. Can't recommend those enough. For the record, I tried out one of those Marshall small 5-watt valve amps that they've brought out. I think it's called a Origin 5. Tried that through a set of Celestian greenbacks in a Laney cab from the late 60s about 2 weeks ago. Absolutely blew my mind. It sounded so good through that cab. It does make a big difference. I'm going to be running all the pedals through my my main gigging amp, which is actually a Towmaster Deluxe reverb, and using some IRs direct in. It will sounds pretty authentic, and it's actually more true to sort of a modern day gigging environment, I would say. The other parts of the demo we'll do a little bit of a comparison as well by using the Jims 45 in the same kind of way, and you'll be able to sort of hear some comparisons. And for fun, I've also got a bit of a demo with my actual JMP Marshall, so you get some of those sounds too. So let's start with some sounds. So we're just going to start with the Jims 45. This is on the clean channel. Pretty flat kind of frequency response. Gain right down. That's the clean channel. Put a little bit of reverb on there just to stop it from being nice and warm on this guitar. If I turn up the gain just into the sort of middle section, Now this actually has a boost here, so the boost is set between either like a tube screamer in front of it type thing, like a mid-range boost, or you could have a post boost. There's no point in me doing a post boost on here because you won't hear the difference because it just adds volume. Since I've put that on, it's really nice. With that boost on, great for a bit of sustain. Okay, when we add a bit of gain then by using the red channel, this is voiced slightly differently. Because it's voiced slightly more, I've got a little bit more gain going in. It's quite dark. It's like the channel's been jumped, like you do on those. I'm on the bridge pickup of a Les Paul, and I haven't got the pickups covered, so you tend to get a bit more high frequency. It's really nice. With the boost on again, tube screamer kind of stuff. And it was engineered to get the extra double note thing that you get on the Plexis. Which I think was a thing that happened by using the 4x12s. And if you had a blues rock band, pretty much just need this in your rig and you've got everything you need. So that's Jim's 45. This is the Jim's 45, this time plugged into my beloved Deluxe reverb. It's got that nice, oh yes. Using the reverb from the amp, and I'm not using the IR from the Jims now. I'm using a separate output. I'm just going straight into the amp. Still got that nice tone. That's really nice, isn't it? Then on the neck, really, it's got that warmth. A nice little Marshall breakup kind of sound. Now if I put the boost on, it's got that spiky. Now this is in the mode where you can just turn the whole pedal off, which obviously is going to be important and useful on that day-to-day use, because you're not going to want that sound all the time. If I press the two buttons like this, I've now gone into a different mode. I'm in the mode I was in earlier, just without the IR. So I've got my bright channel, and then if I press this, I get the dark channel. You do find a big gain jump in that channel, so if you're using this as like a day-to-day part of your pedal board, you have to think about whether you want that on whether you're going to attenuate the volumes. But the beautiful thing about this pedal, and I'm sure you might have seen it if you've seen any other kind of things with it, if I turn that input, if I turn the level down on this one, it's just a bit leery. Okay, I'll turn that to about there. Go to there, turn this level up. When I go back, it'll be at the same. It just remembers whatever you've done before. So that's pretty cool. So good, this Marshall kind of sound. You know, you put the boost on. Sounds so classic. Lovely. So that is a couple of modes on the Jims using an amp. So this one is the Joyo British sound. Mine has a moustache. It got it in Movember. I'm using that straight into the amp. So if you listen to, this is just, everything's kind of set in the middle. It's got a nice 3-band EQ. Again, very reminiscent kind of Marshall tone. That's on my neck pickup, so it's got loads of low end, this one. That's on the treble pickup. I can try and get that nice. This one goes even cleaner than the other one. I'm just going to rebalance these. What I've noticed with this pedal is it's a lot sort of naturally a bit quieter than the Jims pedal. Now the cool thing about this is it's got a switch. This middle knob will let you choose the kind of style of Marshall sound. So if you want a plexi kind of sound, you keep it to the left. If I add some gain, okay, if I turn it the other way, the breakup, you notice here it's picking up a hiss. That's because it's added a bunch of high end. It's added also a bit of hair to everything. And that's your sort of more 80s Marshall sound, that like very much that late 80s, well, early 80s kind of thing. JCM 800 I tend to think of. Which, you know, is great, especially for like lead breaks. Still evokes a bit of sustain. For the money, these are just great. 30 odd quid. I mean, I haven't even done any EQing yet. This is my kind of settings that I normally use. I'll actually pull this back in. My favourite tone's kind of here. So that's the British sound. Let's compare it to some others. So this is the Marshall sound. This is the Marshall Bluesbreaker. So this is just my guitar tone. clean. So this is just a classic pedal. Okay, this one's an original one as well, it's really old. It's very quiet compared to the others. This was donated to the music department where I work, and I've taken it home and given it some D5 deoxit on all the pots and made it work again. The tone, I'm going to go some gain. It's such a low gain pedal. Listen to that. All it does is one thing. But that just sounds so good. It's pure Marshall tone, and these other ones have so much flexibility, but they don't quite hit the Marshall's tone, I think, compared to this. This is just a simple volume. This one is the tone shaper. That's just fabulous. When you turn it off, it's about the same kind of volume, so it doesn't really add a lot of volume. What it does add is just some fabulous gain. So with the tone all the way up, I turn the gain all the way down so it's darker. It loses a lot of its mojo. So a lot of it is in the shape of the EQ that comes off the tone here. Just something really special happens between 3 o'clock and full. It's quite a bit of volume to go. Oh, okay, listen to that. It's just perfect. Really soft clipping, but really nice. Really nice. So that is a Bluesbreaker. If you just want one really good sound, that's it. It will just do that. I would love that on my pedal board. So if you're a student at Hinckley College or NWSLC, you get access to that pedal, because we actually have a pedal board that we let our guitar students use, and we do it because we want them to, not everybody gets access to really nice pedals all the time. We want them to be able to A/B them, try them out, and as part of becoming a working musician, you've got to know your gear. You've got to know how this stuff works in the field, so they get experience around that. This is the Drive Master. So it's a bit different to Bluesbreaker, but it's from the same kind of series of pedals that came out based on the Governor. So the Governor was a bit more of a flexible pedal, and I think what I'm expecting from this is nice breakup, similar clipping, however more control around your EQ. And it's nice to have a bit of EQ with a drive pedal. It's not often you actually get that. If you look across the market, it's normally one tone knob. So here it is. I'll turn it on. Instantly, that's on the bridge, on the neck. Okay, instantly that's my tone. Alright, that's right in the middle. So if I turn that all the way up, like, you know, you kind of do, that is an absolute beast. Let's mess around with making that a bit cleaner. I know it's a drive pedal. nice. Very nice. I'm going to just try some things. Try something scoopy, because you can, because it's got the EQ. Add the mid back in. It just makes you want to play a riff. So that's the Drive Master. Now, the Bluesbreaker is quite a highly rated pedal. I think I really like the one thing it does. I just love what it does. For the kind of money they are used as a legendary pedal, they're kind of there with the expensive, you know, things. The reissues there, the reissue is probably going to be the same but newer. Out of the two, I would have the Drive Master. Now the British sound seems to lack some of the low end that the Bluesbreaker has on the Drive Master. So I would probably, for £32, you just can't go wrong. It's excellent for that money. You know, you can't really fault that for what it costs. However, if I just had to choose for my pedal board to use all the time, just to have on there, it's going to be the Drive Master. Now, this, the Ampworx, I think is a bit more flexible than all of them, and it's a lot newer, and I think it probably needs, because it's more technical, it's got different things going on, probably needs a little bit more dialing in. I am a professional musician. I like to know my gear. I like to know what it's going to do right away. I could do that I could get used to that quite quickly. It's probably not, you can't get across the flexibility in a YouTube video. Really, you need to just spend time and time with it. I want to do some recording sessions with it. I think if I had a fly gig, you know, I probably wouldn't bother with buying anything else. I'd probably just stick that on a board, put a HX effects, you know, or a wah-wah and some sound, you know, something that will make some modulation sounds and a reverb, and I'll be happy with that. I could just plug that into, you know, the PA through its DI. I'm really happy with the sound of the cab that it makes, and that would do. And it would have a good clean sound and a good, well, a fantastic dirty sound. So that you could, you know, you could sell. If you lost, say if you wasn't using your big Marshall stack, which you probably aren't using them all the time, and you just wanted to record or practice with, I would have that. So absolutely brilliant. By the way, you can pick those up for like £75 now on the used market, and that is just a steal for what it can do. And you can just stick it on your board, or you could use it as a standalone. So there we have it. Best one for the board, best one for the money, best one for flexibility, an absolute. And I've found this with a lot of the old Marshall amps anyway. They can be sort of, I'm not going to say a one-trick pony because they're not, you know, but they do a thing really well. They do a thing. They're the best at doing the thing. I know there's Friedman and stuff like that are really cool as well, but and the Victory version, but that does its thing better than they all do the thing, but it's very inflexible. And if you just collect pedals, get one. If you want to learn how to dial pedals in, get one to understand the sound and the clipping and that kind of thing. I think it's a great thing to learn with. And if you're a working musician, I'd recommend something like that. So there we have it. That's those Marshalls. This is the JMP50. Great sounding amp. 70s amp. There's this very slight hum when you turn it on. Some valve amps are like that, especially old ones. This one, just going to start with plugging it into the low input. I've got my PRS here, my Carty. It's quite a nice sounding guitar. The clean tone, everything's kind of centered here. Just put all the knobs in the middle, presence in the middle. Really warm and glassy. That low end thump's really good on it. Right, so the master volume is on 2, preamp's on about 3. Put the preamp down. It's quite a clean sounding amp. Right, let's turn the preamp up. Just sounds really fat. Okay, if I start plugging it into the high gain channel. So the preamp on 8, fully up. It's got a lovely like reaction to it. It's got a lovely low end kind of thump to it. Part of that is the speakers as well, because they move great. What I've got here, if I just lower that in the high gain channel, even with it set to 3, still wants to break up nicely. That's at volume 3. It's a really loud amp. That's without touching the EQ, you know.